Hello and welcome to this wonderful lesson, Hard Work Pays. In our last class, we discussed about population census and problems. Today's lesson is on measure of dispersion or variability. We are going to be looking at the range, the variance, the quartile, and the standard deviation. What is measure of dispersion? The measure of dispersion, also known as variability, refers to the degree of spread of the numerical value in a distribution. It measures the variation that occurs in a given set of data. Examples of some measure of dispersion are the range, the quartile, mean deviation, variance, and standard deviation. Now let us look at the range. The range is defined as the difference between the maximum, which is the highest value, and the minimum, which is the lowest value in a set of data. Now the range is the simplest and the most straightforward measure of dispersion. Let's take some examples. Example 1. Find the range in the following data: 12, 6, 19, 8, 24, 16, 36, 9, 40, 6, 50, 48, 12, and 10. Now what you need to do is to find the value of the maximum, value, which is the highest value here, is equal to 50. The minimum or the lowest value here is 6. So what you need to do is the 50 minus 6, you get 44, which is your range. Now let's go to example 2. Example 2, find the range in the table below, which represent the marks scored in economics by SS2 students. Now let us see the table. We have our marks 11 to 20 and the frequency here is 10. We have 21 to 30 and the frequency here is 2. 31 to 40 and the frequency here is 6. 41 to 50 and the frequency here is 5. 51 to 60 and the frequency is 2. What you need to do is to get the maximum or the highest score, which is 60, and the minimum or lowest score, which is 11. Now to get your range is the 60 minus 11. You are subtracting the 11 from the 60, so you get 49 as your range. Okay, so let us move to the advantages and disadvantages of the range. But let's see the advantages first. Advantages of the range. 1, it is easy to understand. The range is easy to understand, very, very clear and simple. 2, it is very, very easy to calculate or compute without any cumbersome procedure. 3, it is useful for further statistical calculations. The range can also be used for further statistical calculations. Let us go to the disadvantages of the range. Here we have, it does not take all the values of a distribution into consideration. Only values at the extremes are used. Now you only use the first and the last value, the maximum and the minimum value in the range. Now every other values are what? They are not used. 2, it is not a reliable measure of variability. The range is not a reliable measure. We have our quartile, and our quartiles are the values which divide a given distribution into 4 equal parts. It is similar to the median, except that the median divides a distribution into 2 equal parts. And we have the first quartile Q1, second quartile Q2, third quartile Q3, fourth quartile Q4. We have our variance. The variance refers to the arithmetic mean of the squares of the deviation of the observation from the true mean. And it can also be referred to as the mean square deviation. While the standard deviation, on the other hand, is the square root of the variance. The standard deviation is also referred to as the root mean square deviation. And the formula for the variance is summation x minus x bar over n. That is for the variance. While for the standard deviation, it is the square root of summation x minus x bar over n. But when you have frequency, or you are preparing a frequency distribution table, the formula for the variance here is summation f x minus x bar over summation f. While for standard deviation, it is the square root of summation x minus x square over n. But when you have a frequency, or you are preparing a frequency distribution table, the formula becomes summation f x minus x bar over summation f. That is for the variance. While for the standard deviation, it is the square root of summation f x minus x square over summation f. Now let's take example 1. Calculate the variance and standard deviation of the following set of numbers 3, 5, 8, 5, 6, 9. Step 1, you calculate the arithmetic mean, which is 3 plus 5 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6 plus 9, divided by n, which is the number of observation, and the n here is 6. So we have 36 divided by 6, and we're going to get 6. So the next thing to do is to subtract the mean from the values you have in the distribution. So it will be 3 minus 6, 5 minus 6, 8 minus 6, 5 minus 6, 6 minus 6, 9 minus 6. You have the values below, which is minus 1, so which is minus 3, minus 1, 2, minus 1, 0, and 3. Okay, now the next thing to do is to find the square of minus 3. You get 9. Minus 1, the square of minus 1, you get 1. That of 2, you get 4. That of minus 1 again, you have 1. Then 0 is 0. Then the square of 3 is 9. When you are done, you sum everything up together, you get 24. Okay, now the 24 divided by your number of observation, which is n, and n is 6. So it will be 24 divided by 6. You get 4 for your variance. And your standard deviation is the square root of the 4, which is 2. Okay, hope you understand now. This is the end of our lesson. Until next time, and bye.